Another interesting session on evolution of common meter data management system for utility-wide deployments. And we have Mr. Alfred Manohar, Business Development and Strategy Director, Esyasoft, utility industry professional with over 27 years of experience in power utilities industry in executive management, profit and loss responsibility, business development, operations management, technology solutions, and project management in the business of power utility systems, automation, distribution management system, SCADA, ADMS, smart grid, DAS, AMR, GIS, and other utility automation systems. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Thank you, Aayera. Thank you for the Aayera team for this introduction. And are we good to go now? I suppose this is the coffee time, and are we good to go now, or we wait for some time? Because I saw that there was the break was not there.
So we can start now. We are good.
Okay, I will share my screen.
Sure, sir. Yes, it's visible. Very okay. Yeah. So can you please brighten the color of the screen a little?
I'll do that. Is it visible now? Okay.
It's a little dark.
Yeah, it is meant to be dark anyway. As we go forward, it should be, this should be good. This is well.
All right, sir. All the best. Over to you.
So thank you, Aayera team, and thank you, the audience, for joining us for a presentation and a talk from the Esyasoft Technologies. I'm Alfred Manohar, as mentioned. I'm responsible for the business development strategy in Esyasoft. And today I'm going to be touching upon a subject that's very special to us here in Esyasoft. And we have been driving this, and we have been at the helm of it since over 2 years. And this is what I would like to bring it up to our esteemed audience. Before that, I just give a couple of minutes. I'll take a couple of minutes on telling you who we are and giving some insights as to what we do. Esyasoft is a software product delivering company. Is a software product delivering company, and we are into the solution development for the power utilities. We are based in Bangalore, and we also have offices in UAE. We have clients both in India and the UAE as well. As you see, we have been one of the first in the country to be able to provide a smart grid software solutions for the Indian smart grid project, the first ever pilot project in India. And then we go on to we go on to be currently one of the large smart metering MDM deployments in India. We do have now with the multiple utility MDM deployments in the country of in India. And we have been recognized one of the top few global MDM solution providers by Gartner in their market guide, which is available as a public document, which I encourage the audience to look into and subscribe to that if they have not done so. And then, of course, we are also a CMMI level 3 and so on. So, giving a bit background as to what we are in the in this, how did we come in? We are over about a decade in the industry, and we started our journey in India with being contracted and having the privilege to build the meter data management for the first ever smart metering project in India. That's the Mysuru Smart Grid project, which I will discuss a little bit later. And we enable utilities for the AMI billing and smart grid deployments, MDM solutions through our proven suite. Our offerings are the smart grid meter data management analytics, as well as CRM, MBC, etc., including the head-end system, revenue management, and now we are also into we have done a bit of backward integration. We are into the AMI communication solutions as well. We are providing for a couple of large utilities outside of India. We've been featured in Gartner's, so that is I mentioned, and then we are proud to be a recipient of the National Award from India, the Government of India, for the energy solutions in the year 2020, and we continue. And our strengths provide the deep domain expertise, the business solution expertise, and as you would see, our organization is filled with three parts. The domain specialists take the top place, and then the developers and the solution developers, and then the business analysts. So these are the three major categories of the personnel that we have and we do. And that's what brings us here. So what we bring on the table is a self-contained application stack, a platform, highly scalable, flexible, and modular, which have been deployed in several utilities as I go forward and let you and discuss with you. Briefly about our achievements in India, in the country. We, as I mentioned, we have been working with several utilities. We have mentioned them here, and all these are pure play smart metering, so MDM application solutions that we have built. So to start with Mysuru Sescom, where about 25,000 smart meters way back in 2014 to 16, the first ever time solution to be put up, and we worked jointly with the utility to deploy one of the well recognized solution in the country at that point of time, and it continues to be so. Now at this point, we are connected to over 16 million meters, and when I say 16 million meters, these are smart meters. These are normal meters. What I call a normal meter is a regular meter, or a monthly rate meter, or even a scalar meter, as it is called. Then the AMR metering systems, they have feeder systems, feeder data ingestion systems as well. We have about cumulatively over 750,000 smart meters connected online in the country, in India, with at the utilities which are shown below. And one of the most interesting thing is that we have connected with 150,000 multiple HT and LT and AMR systems. These are all the legacy existing LT and HT AMR systems, and these had to be brought into the MDMS, the common MDMS repository, which is expected to be a common database or a common repository for all the influx of data into the system. And that's where we have done this. And this legacy system comprises of over 21 different makes of meters and AMR systems. And these have been dating back to over 15 years. As we see, the AMR system started over 10, 15, in some cases 20 years ago. All these legacy systems with no support from their existing providers, we were successful. We worked together with the utilities, all the utilities, and brought them on board into the common MDMS or MDMS to make it into a common repository. Then we also connected to over 18,000 feeders, which gets data from any time from one data set per day to every 15-minute data set from different segments in the utility. And we have also a product which is a metering and billing system, which takes us to connects to over 850,000 billing consumers as well. One of the most important things is that we have done a SCADA integration, a web SCADA integration, and we have been able to expand the capabilities of MDMS into multi-mode, multiple levels, and that's what will be the topic of subject of my subsequent slides here. Just to give a little more inputs on our customers, we have deployed in the MP Discoms, Indore, Jabalpur. These are three independent Discoms, distribution companies, together comprising of about 25 million to 2.5 crore consumers. And here's where we have deployed over 16 million meters in these three discoms have now come on board on the MDMS that we have deployed, along with the smart meters and the other meters. Assam is another customer, an esteemed customer of ours, where we have deployed meter data management for over 150,000 smart meters. Himachal is where we are doing again for about 100,000 customers. And then we have Tamil Nadu, 150,000 smart meter customers. And of course, Dakshinachal and Tripura are some of the earlier projects where we have done. So what I want to bring it out here is Esyasoft has been there from the very beginning. From the very beginning, that the concept of smart meter MDMS, I'm very specifically say the smart meter MDMS system. So that is what differentiates us. So what we did differently to become quite successful, not from what we say, from what our customers say, is the following. That is, one, we started our deployment, started our smart AMI MDMS journey by designing a solution specifically for the smart meters, and not just converting or transitioning from a monthly rate meter data management into a smart meter data management. And that's what brings us away from the crowd, and explains how we were being quite successful. And thereon, the second best, and that's the most important aspects of every Esyasoft engineer, a manager, or a field officer. Customer comes first here, and we work with customer with all diligence, with all our heart, and that is where we have built a bonding with every customer that we have delivered our solutions, and we continue to support today, and we continue to do that for a very, very long time to come. Well, coming to the subject that we're talking about now, we're talking of a common meter data management system, and this is something which now I would like to quote what Gartner has brought out in the last year's current market guide. What Gartner recommends is that, establish MDM as an enterprise data repository rather than stepping stone to billing, by aligning MDM product architecture with the organization's data and analytical digital technology platform needs. So this is a very wonderful recommendation made by, and this is exactly the way forward for the MDM providers in the world, MDM providers here. And that's exactly what we expect that the market is tending towards and the customer is tending towards. So if I have to give a little, go back a little from my experience and my understanding, the utility systems, utility networks, or utility overall systems have evolved as far as the network concerned or the consumers concerned to the extent they started with the SCADA centric. This went back, let's say, a couple of decades ago. The entire utility was focused on a SCADA. Now, I being a SCADA man, I've delivered very huge SCADA systems over India and outside the country. And I would recognize that the utilities focus has been all along earlier to have a SCADA system and all other things running around the SCADA, that we're calling it as a SCADA-centric system. Now, going forward during the last few years, let's say during the RAP, DRP years in India, it started trying to move towards GIS-centric, and well, they stayed there for some time, but then finally now, currently, it is the direction way forward is the MDM-centric. Why do I say that? The MDM has evolved into such a powerful system, an IT system in an industry, in the utility industry, as well as every specific utilities. It has become a center point of this, a center point of the utility operations. Now, what makes this MDMS a central platform as a central application for an utility? Well, now you can see MDMS as a platform has all the multiple applications revolving around it. Let's say smart metering, prepaid metering. We had a lot of discussion on the prepaid metering in the previous session. modeling, of course, AI, ML modeling, and feeder monitoring is something new, which I will throw more light on that. Power quality, load forecasting, integration of renewables, the condition monitoring of the transformers, peak load. Now you would see that the meter data management has now become a central point, or has the potential to become the central point of integrating and connecting with all the systems, if not providing these systems for the utility to have a single point, and thereon its capability to connect with the existing utility applications. So Gartner has very rightly said, again, I bring in Gartner again here, MDM vendors are extending ingestion capabilities beyond meters to other types of sensors. So this is what brings MDM closer to the heart of an utility. Utility all over the country and in India and outside have started recognizing the importance of MDMS not as a basic data aggregation ingestion capability, but extends these capabilities beyond. In our own projects in Esyasoft, we have connected our MDMS to certain RTUs, existing RTUs, and we have designed certain IoT devices. The fault passage integrators have been connected to this, and of course, the home automation systems have been connected as a part of this. So what you see here is MDMS acts as a central application, as the heart of the utility, and continues to grow in this fashion, in this way. And this is where the utility sees a large addition of computing power, or it saves utility a lot of hassles in terms of integrating. For example, if I take the solution of this such a system that's provided here in the country, MP Indore has been MP Jabalpur, Indore, and Bhopal. We were privileged to be selected to be providing a common meter data management system, and what the functionality which have been built in all this is as I could read a few of them. Of course, it's there on the screen. So what basically the common MDMS does is it acts as a central repository, is expected to act for not only the data from the billing system, from the AMR system and the smart metering systems. Per se, it's meant for smart metering systems, but extending the capability beyond the smart metering into any data and every data that is coming into the utility. And that is where it scores over other utilities, because all other utilities have a limitation in the the limited utility applications in the IT system has a limitation to interact with one set of data or one set of applications, one set of devices. But then the meter data management, by virtue of its capability to integration, high levels of integration, multi modes of integration. For example, even if I have to give our own example, we have integrated our MDMS on IEC 104 with a SCADA. So that's something that I don't know whether many people have heard about it, but yes, we have integrated we have built in IEC 104 protocol stack into it, and then we have been able to directly communicate with the SCADA systems, and we have connected to the substation systems. We have connected to multiple other systems, including the substation ELV monitoring systems. That's where we have extended this. Well, then the major functionality is to provide a single database. Now, that is a very important thing, a single database. A single database for smart meter data from all head-end systems. Then you have the monthly meter data from the scalar meters and so on. And then when we talk about the existing all types of customers, industrial, domestic, HT consumers, LT consumers, commercial, all data are normalized and brought into it. They may be having different time frames, a 15-minute data, a daily data, an hourly data, or whatever it is. And whatever it's taken into our system and brought it out. And then the data from the HT customers are a different category by itself. But then by bringing HT customer data into the MDMS, a vast potential of the computing capability of the MDMS is brought in here. A lot of analytics, I should not use the word theft analytics, but then theft analytics has been applied on all types of consumers. And I must tell you that the theft analytics on the HT consumers using the MDMS capability has done wonders for our customers, and our customers are just too happy to have this kind of a data put in together and making it in a normalized common meter database. Further, well, it's on a single database, and all the MDMS applications, you have multiple applications which has been being discussed since over the morning as well, and even yesterday has been discussed on this platform. I don't want to mention them, but yes, every functionality of MDMS, every application is applicable not only for the smart meter, but also the every meter, let's say calling it the dumb meter as well, and all devices. And one of the best thing that it is, one of the functionality which I should really mention here is the load forecasting. The MDMS brings in the load forecasting application as a part of it, and we have built in ours a 15-minute data forecasting, which is meant for the smart meter data. At the same time, a monthly build data of 16 million consumers, we have been able to build a forecast on top of that, and that is giving very valuable insights to the utilities in terms of their energy purchases, energy contracts that they can take up, and our customers are certainly thrilled about it. And so we are really happy to be have been achieved this together with our customers. So the analytics and other MIS applications on unified metadata. Now, this is another term which I bring in, which of course has been talked about, but then it's been done. A unified metadata from all sources. Energy accounting and auditing is the most important. Now, you can imagine with data flowing in from all sources of the energy sources of the utility, how it can be integrated together. Energy auditing can be done together, and interface with existing multiple billing systems. So you have during our implementation itself, we saw a billing system change from from product 1 to product 2 to product 3. But then yes, we have had the flexibility to connect to them, to interface with each of them, and we cooperated with our customer to connect to the newer, because the evolution of the billing system is happening and new changes are happening, and it is fair enough to support our customer in integrating with the newer billing system that they continue to bring in as a part of their growth plan in the system. And then the DT meeting is another important application. The distribution transformer meeting, which is taken up in India at this point as a separate project, it by and large remains as a silo at this point of time. It is it's a secluded, it's a included what you call a silo system. But then yes, we have been able to break into that and get that input connected to this and thereby bringing immense value to the data. Now you can imagine the data that's been brought in here from all these sources, including feeder. And there are, as I mentioned, there are about 18,000 feeders in the entire MP discoms, comprising of 3 discoms together. 18,000 feeder meters, 11 kV, 33 kV feeders, which are connected, and thereby you can do analysis on the number of hours that the energy is being fed. For example, as you're aware, the agricultural consumers are fed through specific feeders, and how much is the energy that is power that is given in that now comes on a fingertip, rather than asking for Excel sheets and reports from the various subgroups and groups of the utility. Now this is available on the platform. That is an immense value of the utility. And last but not the least, the advanced analytical functionalities, which we heard from our earlier speakers. And of course, yesterday also we talked about that. The advanced analytical functionalities on all the data, that is again normalized into a single database. That is what is the crux. That is what brings in the greatest value to the system. Now, we're going a little deep dive into the actual framework. You will see what is a common MDMS framework. And what you see here on the left-hand side are all the familiar applications that you have seen on a MDMS, the acquisition, the validation, the determinant, the asset, exception, all these and more as per the CEA. And then on the interface modules that are connected to the existing applications, existing systems of the utility, they are all shown on the right-hand side, where you come across multiple. So this whole structure becomes a framework for the common MDMS deployment. And this is a way forward. So integration with multiple modules, multiple HES systems, multiple communication network. And we have even brought out the communication NMS also into it, because communication NMS generally is a part of the HES system, but then MDMS is able to interface and get all the data and even provide dashboards for the communication interface. So the user, the web user, doesn't have to go change from one system to the other system, but he can look into sync. So you can imagine a customer sitting in the utility, looking into the platform, into the application, into the dashboards. On one dashboard, he sees the entire smart metering data, the whole meeting data. Then he sees the SCADA data inflows. Then he sees the transformer data inflows. Then he sees the substation data as well, and any other data that would be. Of course, we have not yet started talking about EV. Well, and we are also working with an utility to build a EV module, EV monitoring system as a part of this, integrating it with this, and that brings us to a wholesome system deployment of a complete framework of the common meter data management. And this is another little more into it. So on the left-hand side, you will see all the smart meters of different types and different makes and different head-end systems connected through various technologies and systems. And then you have the base modules connecting to the right on the other south end, the utility systems with the basic module, where other modules develop and interfaces. And this becomes another picture of showing the complete framework in another way. So what we're trying to say here is the MDMS is evolving and evolving for good, and is evolving into a great new structure altogether, a new common system. Well, now this is a pictorial actual representation of the system that's been deployed here. This is deployed in the MP discoms, so the comprising of 3 discoms. As I said, the Indore discom, the Jabalpur discom, and Jabalpur is the nodal organization. Jabalpur team has worked on this, the management team and the IT team and the field team has really worked on this and together conceptualized this and put it up there. So what you see here is complete landscape of the utility system. On the left-hand side, you will see the smart meters are connected through various headends, and the 4G NB-IoT meters are connected. HT meter AMR systems are connected here, existing ones, legacy or otherwise. And then you have feeder data, 11 kV feeder databases are connected here. Then the other AMR systems, LT-AMR systems, then existing meter database. As I said, these existing scalar data meter database, monthly read meter database of 18 million meters are already connected into this. And then on the south side, you will see that these are connected to the billing systems. 1, 2, 3. There are 5 different billing systems in this utility. They are connected, integrated tightly. Then there's an existing SCADA connection over ODBC interface that's been built in, and various utility interfaces on regional monitoring centers at Indore, Bhopal, Jabalpur, and many other places. Since it's a web-enabled thing, the utility is having multiple monitoring systems at various zones and subzones and various locations, and that has become a daily monitoring tool, in a powerful system which the utility uses to really bring in efficiency and total control or total monitoring responsibility rests within them, and they are able to achieve it very well. Well, this is another slide. I will not take much on this. This is just a technical architecture which is in an MDS-centric architecture. I'll go forward here. Now, coming to the point, this is my last slide. I will leave it up for discussions further on this. Well, Now, what is, again, going through what we have done so far, what is the case for a common MDMS, CMDMS? Well, to begin with, the country is seeing multi-phase deployments of smart meter. If you look at it, any utility is not going for 100% smart meter deployment in one shot. Well, it is impractical to do that. Number one, financially is a huge cost, which is not which is not affordable to begin with. And then, so ultimately, it so happens that each utility will start with a package. Let's say 100,000, a 500,000 thing. Then the complete process is over, and by the time the implementation is over, of 1.5 to 2 years, yes, now they're ready for expansion. Now, when they're ready for expansion, what do they do now? Do they go? They again have to go in for another tender. You will go in for another tender, and you will get more better participants, better vendors, and improvised vendors also. People who have further improvised their solutions. You will get them, and you will get a benefit of prices as well. Now here comes the challenge there. Well, will you go for a new system altogether with this? So each vendor, each system integrator comes with his own head-end system, his own obviously smart meters, and his own MDM. Now what do you see? Multiple MDMS in the utility system. Well, now each MDM, so for example, one area has one MDM, another area has another MDM, and likewise, this becomes a serious challenge, a severe challenge for the utility to really manage, and definitely it's not worth taking all the risk. And further going on, the integration with the existing utility system. Now what happens? Utility system integration is a two-way effort. Is an effort from the vendor, the MDM vendor, and is also an effort from the utility people, utility staff, utility employees. So and it takes months, it takes weeks and months to integrate. Now, once you are done with one integration, then let's say you get into another project, then you have another MDM. Now you can imagine the challenge. The integration has to be redone with that MDM. Now, this is the biggest driving force in not wanting to go in for a separate MDMS in each of this case. So and then at the same time, you also have a look and feel. A MDMS from company A is different from a company B and company C. So utility-wide, you will have multiple look and feel, and people who are used to one look and feel cannot understand how the other one brings in here, and how they can, and it's a great effort. It's a tremendous effort to put them together and come out with another common look and feel. That itself is a multi-year project, which is not feasible. At least I have seen in my career throughout that putting systems together and making a common system is highly complicated once they are mature and once they have already been deployed. So then what is the solution? Utility ends up discarding some of the MDM solutions and then pays additional for a new system or a new integration and take it up. So what is the case for driving? A utility would do very well by taking up a top-down approach. Well, set up an MDM solution, integrate tightly with all the metering systems, with all the billing systems, existing billing systems, existing third-party applications in the utility, and now you're ready for smart meter. Parallelly, let the smart meter procurement take place. So smart metering together with smart meters and the head-end system, etc., can come as a separate, and with the communication system can come as a package, and that every lot gets deployed and gets connected, Now you can see in the MP discoms, that's exactly what is happening. New smart meters are coming into the system from multiple vendors, from multiple AMI solution integrators, system providers. It's coming up and it's getting on by the day, thousands by the day. It's getting on to the MDMS, and once it is on MDMS, it is there. It's exactly common. It's same. It's unified throughout, and you can start reaping the benefits from day one of putting up the smart meters. So the smart meters can continue to come. We do understand that everybody understands that the utility, by the time utility completes its deployment of smart meters, it will take years. And of course, the government of India's drive also for 25 million smart meters it has to happen, and it has to happen in a phase way. And as it continues to go in a phase way, the best approach would be to have a common MDMS put up in place for the utility and go on further. So what do we say? The way forward is the common MDMS for the Indian utility sector. Of course, it's applicable outside as well globally. And that is what we see. Common MDMS and Esyasoft has been is very proud to be a part and privileged to be a part of deploying the most successful common MDMS project in India in Jabalpur utility, which covers all the 3 utilities CMP. And certainly you would have seen presentations on the by the DISCOM officials in various other forums talking about this, and definitely interested utilities also could approach them to get a first-hand feel of what it is. So what does all this bring in? What does all this bring in? So what we would call this is MDMS is evolving, and what I call this as it is evolving into a MDMS 2.0 solution. So I call it as the MDMS 2.0 solution. The MDMS is passe, and now it's a 2.0 solution where it will do much more beyond. It is meters and beyond. It is sensors and beyond. It is applications and beyond. And that's why we at Esyasoft call it as the MDMS 2.0 solution. And that is what we think is the way forward. Ultimately, the whole country will have, each utility will have one utility-wide deployment of the common MDMS, and that is the way forward to go. So, what do we do? Our recommendation for the utilities to go for it. Thank you very much for the time that all have given, and I will be ready to take questions either now or later, depending on what the moderator or what the authorities bring in. And thank you very much.
So there are a few questions. I would request you to please have a look at your chat box.
Okay, let's just. Well, I have a first question here. I think I have only one question at this point in time. What measures Esyasoft has taken to avoid security threats and attacks from outside? Well, if you look at it, the Esyasoft software has a built-in security profile in the application. The application level securities have been brought in here. Well, I'm not the technical person to talk about it, but at the same time, all measures for the solution security has been already built in. The token system is one of the most important that we have built in our software application. And then again, here we have a two-way token system. One of the most critical aspect when it comes to the smart meters MDMS is the connect disconnect. So we have seen the challenges that the utility would face in a connect disconnect. That is one of the area which we have attacked, which we have really worked on. And what we have done is we have built in a foolproof security in terms of let's say identifying first we get it multiple authenticated. The list of disconnections are to be multi-level authenticated, and there's a token system for them. And there is a two-way authentication using even a token and an SMS as well. And the list is given ahead of time, and the list is checked with the parallel authority. And at the same time, last but not least, we have also put in a specific number of meters that can be disconnected in any one day. And that brings us to the thing that is, disconnections cannot be rampant. It cannot exceed, for example, it cannot exceed 1,000 per day or 10,000 per day, depending on what the utility is comfortable with. And once that is done, yes, a major challenge of attack from outside is prevented. I hope that I've answered that question.
Sir, can I ask a question? My name is Bala Subramanya. I am an international trainer in smart grids and smart meters.
Please, sir.
Very elaborate and good presentation you have made. Very nice. Sir, I like this MDMS centric activity, particularly with regards to the feeder meter and with regards to the DT metering system. Is there any challenges that you face during any incorporation of this? Number one. Number two, is there any international standards which gives you a standardization protocol for the CDMS, that is, the common one, and the normal MDMS and HES system integration? Is there any international standard? Third question is very, very important actually. You supported, the support of theft analytics and data, particularly with regards to the management system. What are all the main criteria for this particular selection, and how, this theft analytics could be integrated into the metering system as a whole? So these three questions, if you can answer, I think it will be useful to the community, engineering community.
Very good, Mr. Balasubramanian. Thank you for your questions. Well, I will, I just memorized those questions. Let me see if I'm right with that. So your first question was that how would were any challenges that I have faced in integrating the feeder meter data? Yes, lots of challenges. Now, this feeder meter data, as you rightly said, it comes from multiple. In fact, it comes from the far end of the utility system. The feeder meters at various substations, and each of them are running multiple. You would have heard of this RT-DAS as one of the system, which is collecting a lot of meter data. And there are certain other metering systems, feeder metering systems, standalone feeder metering systems in some substations and in some group of substations, and as put up as a separate. Now, connecting to them with the database, with the kind of protocols, and has become a challenge. But then it is again the flexibility of the MDMS that I have put in, and the flexibility of our engineers and the competency of our engineers to really work hard together. It's a challenge to work, but then yes, it takes a lot of time. It has taken time, and we are glad to inform you that we have been able to achieve that. Yes, and I would say it is not that we were the only one to achieve it. Anybody can achieve it. I would say that yes, as long as you show your interest, your intention to do, and your intention to work with the utility and to bring it for the common good. That's the first question. And as you rightly brought out, the second one would be, as I say, international standards for the data. Well, the MDMS data standards in terms of the database, etc., is being followed as per the IEC standards, and that's what is being used as well. And in fact, that's what is brought in here as well, and utilized in the overall structure, which would be which would connect and be able to read the data. And the integration, it is not just possible to have one type of integration mechanism. So we have to have multiple methodologies, multiple techniques to integrate with. In some cases, it could be an integration on a database level. In some cases, it would be a protocol level. In many cases, it is on an API level, and in many cases, it is also on a similar data exchange, etc. Many different levels it comes up. As I mentioned, IEC 104 level as well. So this way, data integration has been sort of multiple standard integrations, multiple mechanisms of integrations has been incorporated, and that is the only way forward, which we have seen through our practical experience.
Okay.
And your third question was on if I remember. Can you repeat the third question, sir?
Thank you, sir. I think we have exceeded the time.
Yeah, just give me a moment, ma'am. We'll just.
This is mainly on the theft analytics, particularly.
Exactly. Yeah, very good. Sorry. Yes, theft analytics is a very important discussion. Yes, theft analytics is again depending on multiple. As you really see that smart meters, Indian smart meters, they give so many indications, so many events. These events come in millions, and this event is necessary to sift out those millions and millions of data. So one of the event, like current mismatch in the inflow and outflow, the current mismatch are voltage available, voltage not available, or current not available, voltage present. These are these events, and many events like this are segregated and shortlisted using AI ML techniques and brought in together. And that is where it has brought out, we have been able to shortlist. Now, when you shortlist even this itself throws 100,000 meters to be a culprit. Now you cannot consider all the 100,000. So then you have to start shortlisting them. How do you do that? You have to build multiple rules into that, multiple techniques into that, and you should even be able to use ML technology, ML techniques into that, and sift it out, and ultimately bring it out a list. Give a list of, let's say, 100 customers, potential customers, and that is what we do in these utilities. We give them a list of, let's say, 100 customers, and the hit rate in most cases will be 90%. That's what we have seen. So that's the finesse that we've been able to achieve that. Yes, as you rightly said, managing millions of meters and millions of information piece of data coming is very difficult, but then you need to work together and bring it out and evolve a system which will shortlist to a very small group of potential customers who have a tendency to do that. And when the vigilance squad goes there, almost 90% hit rate they find in our case.
Okay.
Does that answers your question?
Well, thank you so much, sir. We have few more questions, but we are going to send you that on your email. So please do answer accordingly. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you all for this time that you've given. And thank you, Aayera, for this platform that you have brought in. Thank you very much from Esyasoft.